In this video, we will try some word problems that involve subtracting 5-digit numbers without borrowing. Problem number 1. Hades and Aries donated 37,895 laptops to a certain university. If there were only 26,561 students who were given laptops, how many laptops were left? Now we have different colors of laptops to represent the place value of digits. Now let's align the digits to their respective places. 37,895 has 3 10,000s, 7 1,000s, 8 100s, 9 10s, and 5 ones. While 26,561 has 2 10,000s, 6 1,000s, 5 100, 6 10s, and 1 1. Now let's start subtracting in ones place. 5 minus 1. Let's count how many laptops are left. Now we get 4. Now moving on to the tens place. 9 minus 6. Let's count the number of laptops left. Now we get 3. Next, 8 minus 5. We get 3. Now 7 minus 6. We get 1. And lastly, 3 minus 2. We get 1. So this is the final answer. Therefore, there were 11,334 laptops left. Another example. Snow has 12,465 teddy bears, while Amber has 11,233 teddy bears. How many more teddy bears does Snow have than Amber? Now we have different colors of teddy bears to represent the place value of digits. Now 12,465 has 1 10,000, 2 1,000, 4 100s, 6 10s, and 5 ones. While 11,233 has 1 10,000, 1 1,000, 2 100s, 3 10s, and 3 ones. Now let's start subtracting in the ones place. 5 minus 3. Let's count the remaining teddy bears. Now we get 2. Moving on to the tens place. 6 minus 3. We get 3. Then 4 minus 2. We get 2. Then 2 minus 1. We get 1. And lastly, 1 minus 1. We get 0. So we will no longer put the 0. Now that is the final answer. Therefore, There are 1,232 more teddy bears that Snow has than Amber. Another example, Soleil has 23,745 ribbons, while Crescia has 12,533 ribbons. How many ribbons does Crescia need to have in order to have as many ribbons as Soleil has? Now we have different colors of ribbons to represent the place value of digits. Now let's place the digits to the respective places. Following the process, let's start subtracting in the ones place. 5 minus 3. Let's count the remaining number of ribbons. So we got 2. Next, 4 minus 3. We get 1. 7 minus 5. We get 2. Then 3 minus 2. We get 1. And lastly, 2 minus 1. We get 1. So that is the final answer. Therefore, there are 11,212 ribbons that Crescia needs to have in order to have as many ribbons as Soleil has. Now let's try subtracting 5-digit numbers with borrowing. Rio and Eric are business partners in a certain aerospace manufacturing company. They manufactured 34,362 helicopters in 1 year. If they were able to sell 31,444 helicopters, how many helicopters were left? Now we have different colors of helicopters to represent the place value of digits. Now let's align the digits to the respective places. Now let's start subtracting in ones place. 2 minus 4. 2 minus 4 is not possible since 2 is lesser than 4. Therefore, we need to borrow from tens place. We will borrow 1 10 for 10 ones. So 2 becomes 12 and 6 becomes 5. Now we can subtract 4 from 12 and we are left with 8 helicopters. Now let's proceed to tens place. 5 minus 4, we are left with 1 helicopter. Then 3 minus 4, it is not possible since 3 is lesser than 4, so we need to borrow from thousands place. Now 4 becomes 3 and 3 becomes 13. So let's subtract 4 from 13. Now we are left with 9 helicopters. Next, 3 minus 1. Let's subtract 1 from 3. it will leave us with 2 helicopters. And lastly, 3 minus 3, it will give us 0. Now we will no longer put the 0 there. So this is the final answer. This is the difference. Therefore, there were 2,918 helicopters left. Another example. Zari has 25,368 necklaces in her collection of luxury items. If 12,413 of those were gifts from his husband Rad, how many of those were her own purchases? Now we have different colors of necklaces to represent the place value of digits. Now let's align the digits of numbers to their respective places. And let's start subtracting in ones place. 8 minus 3, it will give us 5. Next, 6 minus 1, count the remaining number of necklaces, it will give us 5 necklaces. Then 3 minus 4, it is not possible to subtract 4 from 3 since 3 is lesser than 4, so we need to borrow from thousands place. So 5 in thousands place becomes 4 and 3 in hundreds place becomes 13. So we can now subtract 13 minus 4, it will give us 9 necklaces. So 13 minus 4 is 9. Now let's proceed to the thousands place. 4 minus 2, it will give us 2. And lastly, 2 minus 1, the answer is 1. So this is the difference. Therefore, 12,955 of those necklaces were her own purchases. Another example. Sage has had 24,256 marble collections ever since she was a kid. If she gave 12,333 to her friend Pietro, how many marbles were left for her? Now let's align the digits to their respective places. Now let's start subtracting in ones place. 6 marbles minus 3 marbles. So we are left with 3 marbles. Next, 5 marbles minus 3 marbles. We are left with 2 marbles. Then 2 minus 3, it is not possible to subtract 3 from 2. So we need to borrow 1 from thousands place. So 4 in thousands place becomes 3 and 2 in hundreds place becomes 12. So 12 minus 3, we are left with 9. Now let's proceed to the thousands place. 3 minus 2. So 3 marbles minus 2 marbles, we are left with 1 marble. And lastly, 2 marbles minus 1 marble. Now we are left with 1. So this is the difference of the two numbers. Therefore, there were 11,923 marbles left for her. Thank you for watching this video. I hope this video helped you in learning how to solve some word problems that involve subtracting 5-digit numbers.